Here's the fragrances that he got for Christmas. I want you to smell each one and tell me which one is your favorite from 1 to 4.
Okay. I think I like this one first, and second, this one third.
Okay. He likes the freshie. Welcome back, YouTube. This is episode 12 on the Pulse Points channel, and today we're going to talk about my end of year haul. I get a couple bottles for Christmas usually every year. Usually that's the only thing I want, and so the wife usually buys me a couple bottles. I came across a couple of deals too for her, so she's starting to get into niche fragrances, so I found a couple I think are perfect for her. And this video is just going to talk about what I picked up since the new year. These aren't going to be in any order or anything like that. I'm just going to pick them up and talk about them as we go. First up, Couture Square. I don't have autofocus, so this is one of the first Bond bottle that I actually own. So looking forward to getting into this brand. The one place I knew stopped carrying these, so they may be a little harder for me to get a hold of and actually smell. So I saw these at a good price online, so I just pulled the trigger on it. Couture Square is a boozy, slightly floral scent. I've only had a chance to test this once. So I'm looking forward to really getting into it. I like it, and this is one of the ones that I bought for the missus. What she smells like when she leaves in the morning and what she smells like when she comes back in the evening is totally different. This thing does change on skin. The top isn't my favorite, but the dry down is gorgeous. It's boozy, slightly floral. Kind of reminds me a little bit of dark rum. I believe that fragrance house is Marlin and Goats or something like that. Marlin and Goats. Maybe not as sweet, but this does turn darker as it's on your skin. So it's probably something that's good for the fall and winter months. From the House of Bond number 9, and that's Couture Square. The second fragrance is also from the House of Bond number 9, and it goes by Little Italy. Now, again, this is a house that I'm not super familiar with, but all the names of the fragrances are streets or landmarks, I think, in New York. And so far, I like the house. This is, I mean, it smells like the bottle looks. It's a bright orange scent, a lot of citruses. I can smell a bit of musk as well. Not a little bit. I smell a lot of musk. I am a citrus head. I like my citrus based fragrances, especially here in Texas where it's mostly hot, and I like dark scents, don't get me wrong, but lighter scents, I just get more bang for my buck with lighter scents. So I'm interested to see how this works. This kind of reminds me of a John Varvatos Artisan without the spice and a ton of musk. It doesn't have the spice of John Varvatos, but it kind of reminds me maybe of a niche version of that. Artisan that comes with spices and woods. This one doesn't, which makes it back to the middle of the whole unisex feel to a lot of the niche brands. I think this fits that. Interesting to see how that progresses. Little Italy. The third one, sticking with the House of Bond. Now this is the last Bond in this haul, and probably I would say the easiest to wear out of all the fragrances, the easiest to love. That's So New York. The dry down on that is a star. Again, I purchased those for the missus, but I might have to get a couple wearings of So New York. The beginning of it is a tad bit feminine, but that only lasts for a small portion of the fragrance. The mid and the dry down were absolutely gorgeous. Curious to see more from the House of Bond and how these three stack up to what some say are the best of the house. Number 4 on the list is one that has been on my to buy list for quite some time. Finally went ahead and pulled the trigger on it, and I'm glad I did. That fragrance is from the House of Creed, Millesime Imperial. It has that Creed DNA. It's smooth and unoffensive. It doesn't smell like something that you will find in nature, but it does smell good. People compare this to Sean John's Unforgivable in smell, and Ed Hardy's Love and Luck, and I agree with that. There's a level of quality that you get in this that you won't find in those, and it's not one-to-one smell. This is not going to smell like them for the life of the fragrance. It smells like it at the beginning, but through the mid and the dry down, they go in different directions. So been waiting to get this one for some time, and that is Creed Millesime Imperial. Now the next fragrance comes from the House of Montal, and this is my second Montal purchase, and it's Soleil de Capri, and this one is going to be great for summer and hot days. Just a very fresh and fruity scent. Now this is the one, if you watched any of my previous videos, I had a how to buy fragrances where I talk about testing fragrances on skin before you buy, and this is one that kind of went through that process for me. I got a sample of it, sprayed it, loved the way it smelled, and the wife picked this up for me for Christmas because she liked the way it smells too. So again, light, fresh, fruity, and all Montals have a distinctive smell to them. I also own Intense Cafe, almost like a spray can type vibe. I don't know if it's because they come in spray can that it kind of gives you that vibe, but and it's not, I wouldn't say that's a negative. It's almost like a defining characteristic from the house. When you smell that, you kind of know that you're dealing with the House of Montal. I guess the only strike that I would have is with these bottles being opaque. You can't see how much juice you have. I have to shake it. I have no clue how much is left in that bottle, so I don't know if I'm running low. You can kind of, I guess, feel. Anyway, it's the only bad thing I would have to say about those bottles. The sprayer works nice, and again, the performance is always good. Soleil de Capri from Montal. All right, next fragrance I want to talk about, OMG is all I can say. This is probably my favorite out of the haul, and it's from the House of Valentino, and it's Valentino Uomo. Absolute gorgeous bottle, absolute gorgeous fragrance. Now I have to admit that the perfumer behind this is probably my all-time favorite perfumer. The fragrance that this is an interpretation of, I think, probably one of my favorite fragrances of all time, and this is similar to that. This isn't a clone, it's a reinterpretation. What that fragrance does with iris, this fragrance does with a combination of chocolate and suede. It's across a little powdery, but just real sensual. Gorgeous, absolute gorgeous fragrance. I was actually able to wear this once, and got 3 compliments that day. Valentino Uomo. Now another very good one from the bunch that I'm gonna probably wear a lot of, especially as the winter comes to an end. We're still getting cold days. This is one of the coldest weeks. I think with the lowest temperature was like 8 this week. I brought this baby out. This is from the House of Paco Rabanne, and it's 1 Million Privé. Other 1 Millions are really youthful and playful, and just not my cup of tea. This one takes that same DNA, but makes it more mature. This is a grown man scent right here. This is dark, and it's spicy, and it's sweet. If you have a sweet tooth, I'm gonna spray it actually. Yeah, this is gonna be, I haven't done a winter list, so I haven't been on YouTube long enough to have a winter. This even may make the list, even though it's a new purchase. I've been wearing the mess out of that. That's really good. Paco Rabanne 1 million Privé, highly recommended. The next thing I picked up was a perfume wardrobe from the House of Atelier. I picked this up for myself. One, because I haven't experienced a lot with the House of Atelier. Another YouTuber, the Robes 08 channel, did a Atelier month, and I watched a lot of those, and he talked about how great they were with the citrus notes. And me being a citrus lover, I said, well, let me try it and see what I think. And he's on point. This is some of the best citruses I've smelled in fragrance. Maybe the House of Xerjoff may have them on the authenticity and the quality of those notes, but this is a fraction of the cost of what you're going to pay for a Xerjoff. And the thing that's amazing to me about these Ateliers is you have a lot of notes that, I'll open this up so you can see, comes with a nice little postcard. Now, the thing that I thought about when I was just looking at the packaging and looking through other reviews is that, well, there's orange, there's mandarin, then there's clementine. Well, don't all those things smell the same? They taste similar. And what they've done very well is they've made each one of these distinct. They actually have their own unique quality about them. This is a niche brand that's not pushing the boundaries of creativity, but their notes are authentic. They're simple and they're authentic. So if you don't want anything that's overly complex, you want something that's easy to wear, and you're a fan of citrus, I recommend looking into this wardrobe. Now, I also picked up a travel spray kit from the House of Commodity, and in here they have 6 fragrances. Again, this is not a brand that I'm very familiar with, so this is basically just a entry into what this brand has to offer for me. Haven't had a lot of experience with these. I haven't had a chance to wear these. I've sprayed them on cards, and the ones that really jump out to me, vetiver a little bit, just because I don't like vetiver. This vetiver is very interesting. The fact that it's interesting and I don't like vetiver kind of piques my interest a little bit. Moss from the Black Label, I think was really nice, progressed on my skin. It kind of reminds me of old Dior Homme Sport, the original. That's just an initial impression. I'm not sure they share similar notes or anything like that, but that's kind of the vibe that I got. And Gold from the White Label, just because I'm a sucker for vanilla and sweet. Now, I often talk about fragrances to friends, and the first thing they say is, okay, I'm not paying $300, $400 for a fragrance. Can you recommend me something? And so I got a couple for you guys that were bargain bin fragrances. First on that list is the House of Calvin Klein. Don't laugh, but this is actually pretty good, and it's called CKB Shock. Now, I picked this up at my local discounter, maybe Ross, TJ Maxx, I can't remember which one. 18 bucks. A dark, sweet scent, I think tobacco. It smells good. There's nothing else to say about it. There's no way around it. It smells good. It's a shock that it's a Calvin Klein fragrance, I think. Kind of a weird bottle. It comes with a screw-on cap, and you have to take the cap off and then put the atomizer inside. I have no idea why they did that. It's kind of awkward, but again, good dark smelling fragrance. I haven't worn it to test performance and things like that, but very good smelling scent from the house of Calvin Klein. Now, staying with that theme of bargain bin, we're gonna go to a house that I didn't give a lot of credit to. I've seen the house and I've passed right by it. Didn't even give it a chance to smell, honestly. Actually bought some boots from this brand that I really like. And I may have to dive into this brand a little more because English Laundry put out this fragrance, Windsor, and very impressed with this one. Looking at the notes and even smelling it off the top, I didn't think I would like this just because the breakdown has like clove and some other stuff in it that wasn't very enticing for me. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And if you told me that this was a $200 fragrance from a niche brand, I would probably believe you. That's how good this smells. Eau de parfum concentration. It lasts on my skin. This is another one I've been wearing as soon as I picked it up. I wore it like 3 days straight. I'm going to spray it now. Now, this is a mature scent. This smells very regal and opulent. I think this is probably something that you wear on special occasions, like weddings, maybe even to church or something like that, dressed up. This is berry white and a burgundy crushed velvet jacket, chewing big red gum. Windsor by English Laundry. Now, the next fragrance on my list is not necessarily a new purchase. It's a fragrance that I bought years ago, almost as a gag gift to myself. Playboy VIP. Wasn't really expecting anything from it. Again, it was like a gag gift for myself, and then I smelled it, and it actually smells pretty dang on good. Major note in this is not a real note. It's white chocolate, and I think they used a combination of notes to get that white chocolate note, but it smells like white chocolate. And I was so impressed with this. I've worn it a couple times. I got compliments from the wife. I was so impressed with this that when I saw they changed the bottle design, I thought they may change the formula. I actually bought a backup bottle. It's not very interesting outside of that white chocolate note. This is exclusive probably for a date fragrance. I wouldn't try to wear that to work or out casual. The performance on it is very poor. From the house of Playboy, which is I guess Cote fragrances, and they have a whole slew of these. This is the only one that I've tried. Just because this one's good, I actually may give the other ones a shot just to see what they have. Playboy VIP. Similar story to that one. I saw this in store, and I'm gonna have to put that up there. This is Lion's Legacy. Yes, from the show Empire. To the Empire. Now, I don't know if this is Fox's thing, because they also put out a fragrance behind another one of their shows, 24. And this is basically a sweet amber fragrance. I haven't wore it. It doesn't smell bad, kind of generic smelling, but I bought it just because it was a unique looking bottle, and I figured what the hey. This was $5, by the way. Now, last but certainly not least, probably one of the biggest surprises of the bunch. I saw the box and I recognized the brand. My signature scent used to be from this brand, and this is from the house of Moschino, and this is Fresh Couture. This is a quirky brand. This is probably the only brand that can put something out like this and people actually accept it. This is actually a pretty good fragrance. The bergamot in this fragrance is actually really good. It's just like it says. It's the freshest fragrance. Yes, it's very fresh and uplifting. And although the bergamot is the foundation of the fragrance, I think the star in this is going to be the peony mixed with a raspberry. It makes it fruity and light, and just, there's no way to describe it. It just smells really good. I made the wife put that on when I bought it. I thought it was funny. And she was like, I really like this. And I was like, yeah, I really like it too. So she's probably gonna get some good use out of this coming in the warmer seasons. That's all I got, man. Let me know if you have any experience with these. Let me know what you think about them, especially that Windsor and the English Laundry brand. If you have any experience with that, let me know in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace. I have to shake it.